Welcome to LaGrange First Church of God. You are now listening to our weekly podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Good morning. Oh, y'all still, come on now. Let's wake up. So, it's a lot of y'all in here today. Wow. So, before we get started, I want you to do something that's you probably just like, I don't even want to do this at church, but I want you to do it anyway. At the count of 3, I just want you to just yell hallelujah as loud as you can. Let's get it out. Let's just get it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get it out. It's going to help continue to wake me up and all that good stuff too, right? So at the count of 3, I want you to belt it out. Like, get it good. You know what I'm saying? Wake everybody up if they sleep. 1, 2, 3. Woo! I still think you could do better. I don't think you all the way awake. So I want the person that's like all the way in the back that just probably like, kind of sleepy, I'm at church today. I want them to know like, hey, wake up. Lewis is about to talk. Like, for real. So at the count of 3, I want you to count. I want you to say hallelujah as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3. Hallelujah! Woo!
I have the microphone on.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am so glad to be back with my family, to be able to kick it with y'all. We wasn't here all of last month, but we made sure we got here this month for sure. I'm also glad that my wife and my 2 boys are here. My boys are not used to getting up early anymore, and they haven't been here in a while, so it was like, oh my God, we gotta go up. I was like, yes, wake up, gotta go to church. But we're so glad to be able to kick it, to talk to you, but to impart into you a challenge. You know, when I come, I always want to inspire you.
You do.
But I want to challenge you. I want you to be challenged as you are growing in your relationship with God. I want you to, when you come and you hear the word of God, that you do not just be a hearer, but to challenge you to be a doer of the word that you hear. Does that make sense? So this morning, I want you to keep your thinking caps on. We're going to go on a ride, and I promise you, it's going to get a little rocky, but by the time it's over, it's going to be good. You with me? Let's go to work. In 1859, Charles Dickens penned his now famous words to the classic novel, A Tale of Two Cities. You know this. He wrote, "It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness." As you think about those particular, that sentence, that phrase, in describing the conditions that led up to the French Revolution, Charles Dickens employed a literary device called a paradoxical statement. A paradoxical statement is a statement that may seem absurd or contradictory, yet can be true or at least make sense. In the life of Noah, that we've been studying Noah in the last few weeks, we've been in an overall series of rise and roll, but Ben has done a masterful job of taking you through the life of Noah. My wife told me I said Moses last sermon. Noah. I believe we see this paradoxical statement actually happening. I want you to think about this. Yes, Noah and his family were saved through obedience, the best of times. Yet the world that Noah once knew was destroyed, the worst of times. I want to ask you something. How Have you ever had a time in your life that you were experiencing such enjoyment on one hand, but on another hand, it seemed like all hell had broke loose?
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
Have you ever been to where it seemed as life was great, children were great, bills were paid on one hand, but on the other, you're dealing with an illness that you can't get rid of?
All right.
And what makes this particular situation so different? Both of them are happening at the same time. You are dealing with the best of times and the worst of times. I found in my relationship with God, it is during those times that our understanding of God is tested. See, you got to understand, every Christian is going to go through paradoxical situations. For some reason, we've thought that Christianity is just going to, everything is going to go away, and we're going to just live great lives. Everything's going to be good. Woo. But if you're honest with me this morning, everything isn't always great.
No.
Thanks, babe. Hey, I'm talking to you because I've been there. We've been there when we've had to deal with, what do we really believe about God? We've been there where we had to make a decision. Are we going to believe in the God who created us in his image? Or am I going to believe in a God that I've created in my image? Can I be honest with you? If we're not careful, we have worshiped a God that we have tried to make sure he fits in how we want to live. And I want to suggest to you, you can't, because it doesn't work like that. In our story with Noah and the ark, I want to tell you, Noah's not the primary character in the story. No. Actually, the primary character in the story is God.
That's right.
He's the actual primary character because God is re-establishing a relationship with humanity. And there are some things in a relationship with God that Noah had to understand. And I believe I'm going to deal with 3 of those, and then I'm going to roll out of here. But I believe 3 of these will actually help you in your relationship with God. The first one that I want to hit on is obeying God can cause chaos. Obeying God can actually cause chaos. I want you to think about this. Noah first heard the call of God to build an ark. And I'm certain he did not realize the implications of that call. We find in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7, by faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen, in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. Noah believed God in order to save his family. Yet, I want to tell you, Noah did not understand or even think about the chaos that would be left after he obeyed. Think about this. Noah goes into the ark. Rain is happening and everything, right? You know the Sunday school story. But I want you to think of something. Everything Noah knew was destroyed. And now the water has subsided, and Noah has to go into a world he never knew. Where did the bodies go when God allowed the flood to take over? See, we've been taught in Sunday school and even in the pictures that when Noah came out the ark, it was the sun shining, rainbow, woo. But think about it. The climate had changed. Dead bodies everywhere because they couldn't decompose. They was in water. He goes out into a world that he had no idea what happened. And here's the deal. He obeyed God. Hold on. I obeyed God, and this is what I get. Right. Have you ever had a situation where you obeyed God and it seemed like the situation got worse after you obeyed God? Oh, y'all done got quiet on me. Because all of a sudden, see, we want to hear great stories. It's going to be okay. But can I tell you, I believe we've been fed a false bill of goods. Come on. And I will take it on the chin for all the preachers that have tried to make you think that if you obey God, everything is going to go great for you. I'm going to take it on the chin. Because you know why? Because here's the deal. If we really be honest, I've obeyed God, and what my plan was didn't happen sometime. Right. I expected everything to go great, and it didn't. So now I have to go back and think, what is God trying to get me to understand about him? Right. Because see, here's the deal. If we've created God in our image, and he keeps trying to tell you, I'm God, and you can't create me in no one's image. You keep trying to put me in your thought process, and I keep telling you, I'm not that. You may say, Lewis, that's Old Testament, give me something New Testament. Okay, let me give you something. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 34 through 39, I will give you the words of Jesus. Maybe you haven't heard these before. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Verse 37, whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life because of me will find it. How many times have you heard that in church? How many times have you heard that God says, if you obey me, it's a possibility you may lose your family? Uh-oh. What? Oh, Lewis, like right now, Ben, you're going to get all kind of emails like, Lewis, do not bring him back. He is too real. Because if you be honest with me, I'm not talking something that you ain't not experiencing. Obeying God can cause chaos. You know why? Because in our mind, chaos happens when we don't get what we want. All right. See, our idea of chaos is when we have this expectation and we get something different. So therefore, I'm telling you, obeying God will not always give you your expectation. Noah walks out on the boat. And it's a possibility, because I'm just looking at it logically. It's a possibility he done seen a dead body and he had to step over it. This is the world that he went into for obeying God.
All right.
He goes and he's looking around and he's seeing the climate wasn't like it was, because now you have 40 days of rain when they never had that before. So now he has to go and figure out, how do I deal with life? And then you can't tell me it didn't come across his mind, if I would have never obeyed you. But because I obeyed you, I am now dealing with chaos. Which leads me to point number 2, because right now, at this point, you feel like, I feel crazy, Lewis, and I don't know, how do I get out of this? Point number 2, what Noah ended up learning about God is that God controls the chaos. Amen. Obeying God will actually possibly cause chaos. But what he also learned, God controls the chaos. Let me show you something. In Genesis chapter 9, verse 14, there's a little verse in there that if you're not careful, you just run over it. But as I was reading it hit me like a ton of bricks. It says, when I formed the clouds in the sky, and the rainbow appears. And I said, ooh, reverse, hold up. When I formed the clouds in the sky, that means God is telling Noah, the clouds that caused the rain, who formed them? He did. It made me think, hold on. I'm dealing with a chaos that sometimes feels like it's out of control. And God is saying, it's not out of control, because I'm the one that caused the clouds to come in the first place. And if I'm the one that caused the clouds to come in the first place, then I'm going to be the one that will remove them when it's time. Oh, I want you to see something. Come on and stick with me, because I know this is a little hard time thinking about the God that you serve, but I want you to see something. I want you to see that Noah, when he got out, it had to rebuild life all over again. He had to go back and rebuild his life all over again. What happened when the first cloud formed again? Think about it. The last time I seen the cloud, everything went crazy. The Bible never said it didn't rain no more. So all of a sudden Noah is out there. I want you to think, and he's building everything, and he sees a cloud form. I guarantee you, if it was me, I'm going to go find out who sinned. I'm going to the house like, hey, Japheth, what did y'all do sacrifices? Did y'all do everything? Who sinned? Why? Because the cloud now is formed. Here's the deal. Here's what I want you to see. Something had to happen for Noah to be able to live life all over again, because life still kept happening. Here's the deal I want you to see. You being with God doesn't stop life happening. Life will continue to happen. And there are times that you're going to see, after obeying God, you're going to see destruction, and you're going to even see these things start happening in your life. And if we're not careful, we'll just throw up our hands like, oh my God, it's about to happen again. But God is saying, no, 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 no. What I want you to see is that I control all the chaos that is happening in your life. Hallelujah. You may say, Lewis, again, I'm not feeling you. I don't understand that. Give me some Bible. Okay, got you. Psalms chapter 33, verses 6 through 10. Let's see what the psalmist says. It says, by the Lord's decree, the heavens were made. By a mere word from his mouth, all the stars in the sky were created. He piles up the water of the sea. He puts the oceans in the storehouse. Let the whole earth fear the Lord. Let all who live in the world stand in awe of him. For he spoke and it came to existence. He issued the decree and it stood firm. The Lord frustrates the decisions of the nations. He nullifies the plans of the people. What is he saying is that everything that is happening in the child of God's life, God is in control of it all. Even the worst of times, Lewis. Ooh, I'm messing with your theology, am I? Because y'all looking at, if I could show y'all looks, y'all looking like, hold on. Even the worst of times?
Come on.
Yes. God is saying, I'm in control. And I am the one who is moving it according to my plan. We must relinquish control. But if we're not careful, we don't want to relinquish control. We want to be with the Lord. But we want to have him, a hand on him, and then a hand on what we want too. But what I read to you in Matthew, he said, whoever loses his life for my sake will do what? Find it. What is God wanting for us? He's saying, I'm looking for a people who finally says, I quit and I relinquish all control to you. How did Noah get to the next place? How was Noah going to rebuild his life after utter destruction? We see it in our last point. In Genesis chapter 9, verse 11, here's what God tells Noah. I confirm my covenant with you. Never again will all living things be wiped out by the waters of a flood. Never again will a flood destroy the earth. How did Noah start his life all over again after utter destruction? Point 3, God promised that the chaos will not consume him. Amen. He promised him, when you see the cloud, the reason why you don't got to go back and wonder what's going on, I promised I won't allow the chaos to consume you. But I got to keep it real with you. He never said the chaos wouldn't come.
That's right.
Amen.
This is real Christianity. See, real Christianity says I got to see God for who he says he is. He's not our genie in a bottle. He's not our, hey, he going to do anything that we want based off of our own selfish desires. The Bible says, you may say, Lord, he said, if you delight yourself in the Lord, he will give you the desires of your heart, right? Yeah, I know, because y'all Bible people here. Y'all like, Lord, he said he'd give me the desires of my heart. He said it. Yet he said, if you delight yourself in me. In other words, if you finally come to the point that you and me, you want what I want, I'm going to give you not what you want, what I want. Uh-oh. What are you saying, Lewis? If you delight yourself in God, he said, in your apple, your everything that you want is God. He said, I will give you the desires of your heart. Who is he saying he's going to give you? Himself. We don't want to jump to things, don't we? Yeah. You're going to take my kid off of this. You're going to go here and you're going to give me that new house. You're going to go here and you're going to take this joy, this pain or this co-worker and all that. He never said that.
All right.
He said, when you finally delight yourself in me, all of that becomes null and void. You don't care about it. Yes, it's there. Noah had to always deal with the bodies. But he was able to keep going because he knew the same God that took him into the ark is the same God that's going to bring him out of the ark and rebuild his life again. He had to put trust in that God. My question to you, church, whose God are you trusting? To end this story, come on, Sarah, wherever you are, I want you to listen to this story that I came up on. And this story, it shook me to my core when I first read it. In 1989, an 8.2 earthquake almost flattened the country of Armenia, killing over 30,000 people in less than 4 minutes. In the midst of utter devastation and chaos, a father left his wife securely at home with their family and rushed to the school where his son was supposed to be. Only to discover when he got to the place where the school was supposed to be at, it was as flat as a pancake. So after the traumatic initial shock, the father remembered the promise he had made to his son. No matter what, he had just told his son that morning, I will always be here for you. Well, tears filled his eyes as he looked at the rubble in front of him. And he kept remembering his promise to his boy, I will always be there for you. So as he stood there, he concentrated on where he had walked his son to class every morning. He remembered that his son's classroom was in the back right corner of the building. So he rushed there and he began to start digging through the rubble. Other well-meaning parents came. And they came and seen the devastations and they clutched their hearts and they began to cry. And they began to tell him, quit, it's too late. They're dead, let it go. They told him, go home, face reality. There's nothing you can do. But the man kept digging. The fire chief showed up. And he tried to pull the father from off of the rubble, and he said, fires are breaking out all over the city. You're in danger. You got to get home to your family. We'll take it from here. The man said, I got to keep digging. The police came, and they tried to pull him off of the rubble, and the man said, I can't do it. I gotta see. So the story goes, the man dug for 8 hours. Nothing. The man dug for 12 hours. Nothing. The man dug for 24 hours straight. Nothing. The man dug 36 hours. Nothing. But something happened on the 38th hour. The story goes and says that he pulled this big block of boulder away and he heard his son's voice scream and say, Dad! When he seen it, he looked at his son and said, is it you? He said, yes, Dad, it's me. And there's 14 of my classmates out of 30 that are still surviving. And the man looked at his son and he's trying to see through a little hole. And the son said, Dad, I told my classmates, my dad promised if he's alive, he's coming to get me. And he told his classmate mates, when he comes to get me, he's going to serve you too. And what was crazy, he said, Dad, we were scared. But when the rocks came, this boulder had actually created a little cubby hole where we can still keep living. But I kept telling them, my dad is coming because he promised. And when he seen his son, everything that his son believed in, he finally realized the promise. And here's what I want you to see. Yes, I'm not telling you that there will not be chaos in your life. And I'm not telling you that because you're a Christian, nothing will never happen bad in your life. But what I can tell you, the gospel says that he controls all things, and all things is in his hands. And because all things are in his hands, you can now put your hand in his hands. And he said, I don't care if the building collapses. I will not allow it to consume you. All you have to do is just trust God. I want you to do something for me. I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell them, trust God. Come on, let me hear you. Tell them again, trust God. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know who's sitting by you. You don't know the situation. But I tell you, tell them, trust God. I know all hell is breaking loose, but trust God. I don't care what may happen. I don't care if everything falls around you. Trust God. And when you do, you will be just like that little boy who only had a promise. But there was a day coming. Oh God, there was a day coming, saints. We got a promise that Jesus said, I'm coming back. I'm coming back for a church without spot or wrinkle. And I'm telling you, church, he's on his way. I know they've been saying it forever and ever, but the God you believe in is not a fairy tale. Just like that boy, you can guarantee he's coming back. He will do what he promised you. He just wants you to